Hello everyone. Very good afternoon to all of you. I am super excited to be here to be talking about a topic that is extremely close to my heart. So let's begin. How many of us can truly keep our hands on our heart and say that we never took up something or did something just because it was being done by majority of the people around us? With a show of hands, please let me know if you have ever given in to what the crowd was doing at some point of time in your life. There you go. We all have done it. So have I. Now, being an EC engineering graduate of the year 2020, right? Being an EC engineering graduate from the batch of 2020, from a college wherein the average class size across various streams was almost 8,000 plus students, I was forced to believe in the reality of following the crowd because it was the safest bet or choice. When I decided to pursue a career in the management side as a consultant without a B school degree, most of the people around me discouraged me, right? Because it was not a conventional career choice to make. Let me tell you a secret. I was equally scared of the choice I was making deep down. But for once, I at least wanted to give it a shot, as I was not going to follow the stereotypical norms this time and do what was expected out of me, but rather do something that I was truly intrigued and interested by at that point of time in my life. Luckily, everything played out well, and in the end, I landed a consulting job via my campus placements. You won't believe it, this was a point in my journey where I used to believe that a major chunk of what I could ever accomplish in my life was achieved. Only to realize that I was yet to discover what truly fueled me. Life surprised me. At the age of 22, in 2020, I was managing a full-time job with the Big Four and creating content for students and working professionals to accelerate their careers and creating content as a side hustle. Now, guess what? Today, that side hustle is my full-time profession, and that for me, as I speak on this stage at this very moment, is still unbelievable. So today, let me share with all of you 5 lessons that help me follow my passion and not the crowd. First, stop looking at the other side of the grass, right? When I started attending college to pursue engineering in 2016, every single person around me seemed to be doing better than me, having an edge over me, or just having it all sorted. No matter how much we want to deny it, it is always easy to look at the other side of the grass and think it's greener. But the day I started appreciating my strengths and working on my weaknesses, which is the day I started watering my own side of the grass, was the day comparison no longer made any sense in my head. Back in 2020, 95% of my batchmates were aiming to land a tech-based job. And they gave into it, even if that was not something they truly enjoyed, because everybody else was doing the same. I won't lie, for a while, even I pondered upon the idea that should I just follow what everybody else is doing? Because what was the harm, right? That's when these lines from my favorite poem rang in my head. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It made me realize that you can only be certain about the choices you make in life, but you can never be certain about the outcome or result of making those choices. For instance, I could never imagine that choosing the road less traveled in 2020 would help me land up on this very stage. Second, don't afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to explore, right? Trust me, the worst thing you can ever do as a college student is to not give yourself the freedom to try out different things. Don't put yourself in a box, please, and create boundaries around it. If not experimentation, how else will you figure out what are you good at and what possibly could be your passion in life? It took me 25 plus diverse internships to even figure out that consulting is a field in which I would like to do a job. And then another 2 years in that job to find my true calling. Had I not stepped out of the box during both of these instances, regret is the only thing I would have left in life. So friends, let's not leave anything to regret. Make the most of the time and opportunities around you. If Falguni Nair, at the age of 50, was not scared to explore and try out something she truly believed in, the existence of a company like Nykaa would have never been initiated. Aman Gupta would not have built Boat if before building Boat, the 6 failed startups would have discouraged him and he would have given up, right? They never feared exploring, they followed their passion. Third, consistency and self-belief will fuel your passion, right? Now, once the exploration phase is over and you've come to a decision roughly with respect to what interests you and what you're truly inclined towards, it is very important that you start working towards bettering yourself in that field every single day and have faith in yourself. You're bound to become successful at something that you keep doing over and over and over again until it becomes your second nature. And boom, right there, you unleash your true potential. You discover your superpower. So have faith and just keep at it one day at a time. Speaking the way I speak today is my second nature because it is those 500 plus talks that I've delivered so far that have trained me to speak a certain way today, right? So please be consistent with what you're doing and have faith in yourself. Fourth, collaboration over competition is the only way to succeed in life. And let me tell you why I say so. Now, when we look at the word collaboration and competition, most of the times we think that competition is something that is going to, go ahead of us. We are going to stay behind in the race. People will go ahead of us. You have that fear. But the reality is that no matter how much you love something and no matter how good you are at something, there will always be somebody who is better at than you. And you will also be somebody who is better at it than someone else, right? There is going to be somebody. So the point is, why don't we look for ways to work together with the best folks, foot to foot, who are there in our industry, rather than looking for ways to get ahead of each other, right? The moment you will understand that collaborating with your competition is the best thing to do, as it is also a way to build a creative team that comes with 2 times more talent, impact, and connect, you will start approaching things very differently. Today, there are so many content creators in my niche, professionals, coaches, who I'm very good friends with, right? And we have collaborated with each other in multiple ways. And trust me, it has enabled each one of our growth in some way or the other. Had I only looked at them as my competition and feared them going ahead of me or getting more opportunities than me, I would not be able to create the quality network of friends and professionals that I have today. Same goes for anybody who's working in a corporate job, in a startup, or as a matter of fact, even as a freelancer. Only when you collaborate with the people around you, with your team members, etc., can the end goal be met, can the vision be met, right? Fifth, passion is not discovered overnight. Give it time, right? Now, the word passion has obviously been used by multiple people in different contexts till date, right, across the world. Here is what it truly means to me. This is my definition of passion. It is a state of being wherein you feel like the work that you're doing is not externally forced on you, right? You don't think of it as a burden, and you naturally feel inclined towards it and you gravitate towards it. For me, that is content creation and mentoring. It is infectious by all means for me. Now, you could call it something you love, something that makes you happy, something you're good at, or you term it as passion. That I'm leaving up to you today. But that something exists. And the biggest barrier between your passion and your vision, right, to fuel it is the crowd. That is the society, their opinions, and the people around you and what they will say, what they will think. Stop believing in the fancy ideas that are fed to you by the society. Don't aim to be an overnight success, as that only exists in a different world, right? Every single overnight success has a series of long and painful events and struggles attached to it. And only when you start getting recognized for what you're doing is when people will even start calling it your passion. And then obviously the praise pours in. But those initial struggling years, when you believed in something, right? And you were working towards it relentlessly. Very few people will stick around and support your passion at that time. Everything takes its own time. So is the case with discovering your passion. Don't put the pressure of a deadline to it. You're better off without it. Trust me. Had any of you ever imagined, let me ask you a question, that content creation, video editing, graphic designing, social media management, anchoring, ghostwriting, etc. would become legit full-time careers? Anybody? A few of you, not a lot of you, right? But today, fast forward to 2023, this is possible. You have the privilege and the opportunity to turn that one skill or your area of interest into your profession if you wish to, right? But two things. You'll have to give it time, you'll have to work hard towards it, and you can't be impatient, right? That won't work. So with that, let me leave you with 3 major key takeaways to go back home with today, right? The first one, comparison is a rabbit hole, right? And it will only make things around you worse. Don't get into it. Second, don't think of the money you can make via your passion until you are ready to attach the pressure of monetary expectations to your passion. It's not easy to attach that expectation of earning money via your passion. So until you're not ready, prepared and confident, don't do it. And lastly, do not give anybody else the authority, and nobody should choose the path you should walk on or what you do with your career. You and only you can carve your unique, unconventional path that will be remembered because it was your own. And believe me when I say this, it is the scariest thing to travel through a road that is less walked by, right? And you will always be tempted thinking of what could have been, right? What would things look like if I chose the other path? That is when, my friends, you have to remind yourself that I am here to create my own path and not follow the crowd. That is your biggest victory. Thank you.